Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos delivered a touching tribute to Ryan Seacrest after the American Idol host broke down on Sunday amid the latest updates on his father's cancer battle. Seacrest, who left live in 2023, wept during the latest episode of his on-air radio show as he reflected on his father Gary and his fight against prostate cancer. On their show, Ripa and Consuelos paused to acknowledge Gary. During Tuesday morning's episode, host Ripa expressed her affection for Ryan Seacrest. He's dealing with prostate cancer, and sadly, it's progressed and metastasized. We wish to extend our support to the Seacrest family, Ripa shared with her audience, directing them to Seacrest's radio program for further insights. Turning to the camera, Consuelos offered his own heartfelt sentiments. "We love you all." On Sunday, Seacrest cried while discussing his father's extended illness. The struggle began with Gary's initial prostate cancer diagnosis years back, which evolved when he contracted pneumonia. "It was incredibly tough to see his dad endure it," Seacrest explained. "Even though it started as a private family issue, it advanced and deteriorated instead of improving." Seacrest states that things didn't proceed well for him. "My sister phoned me during my performance on American Idol last season to tell me Dad was in ICU. How quickly can you get here? We were nearly finished when I wrapped the show, and I don't recall what I even said." According to Seacrest, he traveled to Atlanta to stand by his family during a challenging period when they faced a major surgical choice. Seacrest notes that his mother's cancer is now in remission. "I've never witnessed my tough, highly intelligent father with that expression on his face. The worry as he looked to me for guidance on the decision to make right then," Seacrest said. Later, Seacrest teared up while sharing a joyful photo his family had forwarded ahead of his father's impending birthday. His dad hadn't stepped out of the house or a hospital bed in more than 5 months. He had mentioned earlier, "My parents forwarded me the most heartwarming and sweet photo last night." After pausing to regain composure, Seacrest added, "They headed to the beach to unwind and view the ocean. They lack any energy whatsoever. Yet I got to see both my mom's and his smiles." Seacrest was profoundly touched by the images of them grinning and joyful, united during this chapter of their 55-year marriage, despite his unease about showing emotions. The TV personality then disclosed that Gary's family is gearing up for another cycle of cancer therapies and that he's recovered from the pneumonia. Regardless of how chaotic the surrounding world becomes, Ryan Seacrest has consistently upheld his composure as a broadcaster. Listeners have relied on that soothing, reliable voice for years to guide them through their routines, drives, and mornings. But even the most resilient voices sometimes crack, and that commanding voice finally wavered when Seacrest recently discussed his father's cancer struggle. It occurred during what was intended as a simple conversation on air. Ryan was speaking about endurance, gratitude, and family ties. He mentioned his father, whom he's often called his role model, his anchor, and the quiet force behind his work ethic. As he tried to convey how hard the past few months had been, the feelings overwhelmed him. His voice trembled and then broke. It was raw, unexpected, and painfully authentic. The moment highlighted how heavy his personal load has become for someone who spent his career keeping the show running smoothly. The audience noticed the shift right away. Social media lit up with supportive messages. Fans shared their own stories of tending to ill parents, grieving loved ones, and striving to stay strong when life feels overwhelming. Yet one response stood out amid the flood of replies. Kelly Ripa, Ryan's former live co-host, didn't hesitate. After viewing the clip and hearing the pain in his voice, she reached out. She sent a simple, genuine message rooted in friendship. She was there for him. She reminded him that some connections last no matter how busy their professional lives get. One of the most charming elements of morning TV in recent times has been their bond. When Ryan joined Live with Kelly and Ryan, the pair connected immediately. They built a professional rhythm that seemed natural, almost like family, bantering and backing each other up. Even after Ryan departed the show to focus on other projects, the two remained friends. So when Kelly saw the emotional clip, it wasn't just a co-host responding, it was a friend stepping up. Sources say Kelly made the first contact privately. She provided kind words, prayers for his dad, and a soft reminder that he doesn't have to handle it all alone. She also shared public comments later, letting fans see the care and solidarity that still links them. Her note was free of flair and spectacle. It was human, and humanity matters most in moments like these. Ryan has often spoken about how his family acts as his guide. His father's cancer diagnosis hit him hard, but he's tried to shield most of the ordeal from public view. He didn't seek pity. He wasn't after spotlight. He wanted to protect his dad's remaining normalcy and privacy. However, pain ignores broadcast times, and feelings don't follow timetables. As the words stuck in his throat, listeners felt the reality of what he'd been bearing. Kelly knows that kind of burden well. She's been open about the stresses and worries of caring for aging or unwell relatives. For years, she's juggled her TV career with her roles as a mom, wife, and part of an extended family. Her background made her empathetic to Ryan. She understood the long silences, the shaky tone, and the tears away from the mic. What made her message impactful was its tone. In a world of loud opinions and quick judgments online, Kelly kept it steady. She didn't try to minimize Ryan's pain or turn it into a headline. She simply sent strength and affection. In return, Ryan acknowledged her gesture in a subtle way. He was deeply touched. Friends of the pair say their exchange reminded fans why their partnership on Live was so captivating. Beneath the laughs and lightheartedness was real warmth. Moments like this show what endures long after the lights go down. Ryan continues managing multiple ventures, like his radio program and hosting major events, but sources indicate he's prioritizing time with his father and family. His breakdown wasn't a sign of frailty, contrary to what some might think. It was an honest instant, a cue that even the most polished voices waver when love is challenged. Kelly's reply echoed that same truth. It reinforced a basic idea. Life goes beyond ratings, timetables, segments, and cheers. What truly matters are the people who stand by you when you falter. Since the segment aired, Ryan's fans have rallied. Many have shared their own battles with parental illness, offering comfort and solidarity. In a follow-up show, Ryan praised the listeners for the community built through shared compassion. With a steady but soft voice, he told them their words meant more than they knew. As for Kelly and Ryan, episodes like this illustrate how friendships evolve but never fully fade. Though they're no longer side by side on a studio set, their respect and fondness persist. Their connection proves that TV partnerships can grow into real relationships, grounded in empathy and loyalty. On his father's treatment, Ryan remains hopeful. He's focused, motivated, and enveloped in love from family, friends, and followers. Kelly, ever the steady figure, continues to check in, extending the same kindness she showed during their shared broadcasting days. In a culture obsessed with flawless acts, curated images, and perfection, Ryan's emotional moment hit differently. It reminded us that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's a mark of authenticity. Kelly's outreach showed that kindness can cut through the clamor to reach those in pain. Right now, Ryan is centered on the now. His father's well-being remains the main focus. He's backed by his actual family, his broadcast family, and his radio family. Amid the sorrow and optimism, at the heart of that support is a son doing all he can to stay resilient for the man who first taught him strength.